guys, it is your girl, Britt Johnson. Thank you so much for tuning into the Fumble. I am here with Glenn Robinson III. Obviously, it has been a crazy year for everybody, so I like to start everything off with how is your fam doing? How's everybody doing during COVID?
I appreciate you all having me today, so I'm excited.
Of course. So, obviously, family is big for you. Your dad played in the league. You have a daughter yourself, and you actually decided to start ARI Foundation, which stands for Angels Are Real Indeed. And I think it might, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it might have something to do with your daughter's name as well, a little co-thing
Right
there. But it is a nonprofit organization aimed at empowering fathers and helping create deeper bonds between fathers and their children. Tell us a little bit about it and some of the things you've been able to do with this foundation.
Yes, so Angels Are Real Indeed. My foundation that I started for my daughter Ariana, and Ari for short. Our mission is to empower fathers and then help families who don't have that fatherhood figure in their lives. And we've really tried to do that over the past year. This is our first year at the foundation, so we've been doing well. I started it when I was in Golden State earlier this year, and now signing with Sacramento, I'm excited to continue this on the West Coast. So we've helped families here on the West Coast, and back home in Indianapolis is our home base. We just did a turkey drive, 100 turkeys back in Gary, Indiana, my hometown. And we got a Ari's Elves coming up, which we get people who, teachers who need, their students need help, and they're our elves. So we got some cool events coming up, and we really just want to give back and show fathers that they are wanted and cared for, and we're very thankful for them.
What kind of, because we've talked a lot, just different stuff that's happened this year, and there's kind of crazy situations with maybe athletes and their kids and all of this kind of stuff, and there's some great stories. We always hear about how great of a dad like LeBron James is and Russell Westbrook, and they always post these awesome videos with their kids. What kind of inspired you to start this foundation? Was it maybe you growing up kind of in the NBA in a sense because your dad was playing and not getting to spend as much time with him as both of you guys would have liked, or?
Yeah, my dad was the number one pick. So growing up in that situation, I have the same name as him. I would have loved to spend more time with him, but I kind of understood the situation. And I've been able to help many athletes, many NBA players just become better fathers, better men, and see what it's really like to use this platform and help the masses, and that's what I believe my purpose is. So I've always had a giving heart, and I just changed my purpose, and I found my purpose, and that's to give to others. So I just want to encourage people and continue empowering fathers.
Well, I love that so much. You spoke of your purpose, but you are still playing basketball. You're in the NBA, so let's talk a little bit about that, because on March 11th, 2020, the NBA announced their shutdown. It was crazy. I even from our end, we spent 5 months talking about sports when no sports were happening on this show. So we had a crazy time. Just a week prior to that, you actually had, you matched your career high of 25 points against the Lakers. You were kind of going on a roll there, but then the shutdown happens. There's no return date in sight at the time. What did you do during that time? How are you feeling? Do you continue working out every day? What's the feeling going through your head, and what were you doing during that 5-month break?
It was tough, just like everybody else. I had to find ways to get a workout in at home, in my kitchen, on the stairs, anywhere. So it was a unique experience for me, but I actually got to spend a lot of time with my daughter, and otherwise we would have been playing and I wouldn't have been able to see her. So she's 2, and to watch her grow in those special moments, it meant a lot to me because, I missed her first steps, her first words, doing this, what I do as a career. So I took those moments and really just tried to enjoy them with my daughter. But also I prepared myself to stay ready, because going into that bubble, I needed to be ready, my body, my mind. It was a tough time just being enclosed in 4 walls for 2 months.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier in the year you were with the Warriors, but then you ended up with the Sixers. So you did join them in the bubble. Tell us a little bit about bubble life for you.
Yeah.
Did your daughter end up
Bubble
going
life
into the
was
bubble,
crazy.
or were you on the Jimmy Butler thing where it's like, nope, this is a business trip, nobody can come in, or did you have your family join you?
I didn't have my family join me, and that was the toughest part. I really wanted to see my daughter, but luckily we do have FaceTime. I depended on that a lot to talk to her. But the bubble was definitely a weird situation. The first 3-4 days, the food was terrible. They would bang on our door, just drop the food outside of your door. You didn't see anybody. It was like ghost town. Then all of a sudden they opened it up. We could golf a little bit, fish a little bit. There was a barber shop they opened up. So it was a unique experience, and we probably won't have another bubble. So I can't wait to tell my daughter and just all my fans about that unique experience that no one else will probably get to do.
Right. So season is tipping off December 22nd. Just this week, you signed with the Sacramento Kings. Congratulations on that. You signed a contract with them. Literally, training camp is starting now. It's just opened up. Have you had a chance to kind of meet with your teammates yet?
I actually know a few teammates. De'Aaron Fox and I, we went to Kobe's camp actually last summer, a couple summers ago. So that was a cool experience that we got to do. And Kobe was going to start that camp up every year. I do know Buddy, I do know Hassan, and a couple of my teammates there. But today's actually my first day on the job, so wish me luck.
Oh, I got you. So.
I think for the guys who just ended, the Lakers, the Heat, that would be a tough turnaround. We did get knocked out in the first round, so I did get a little bit of rest. And I'm a true believer in rest. I think the biggest challenge this season will be the whole COVID issue. We're still every day, right now even, we're not allowed to practice all together. There's only like 1 or 2 or 3 of us allowed to practice together at one time. So hopefully we can keep everyone healthy. No one will get the virus. But I think that will be honestly the advantage this year. Is like what team does not get the virus, and what team does not lose players because of it. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. We talk a lot about the NFL and how many injuries the NFL had with that quick start that they did and not have a ton of preseason to happen. And it resulted in a lot of injuries. We've had games canceled and postponed because of COVID. In the NBA, though, we have started to see a shift when it comes to the super teams. Obviously, if Clay would have stayed healthy with James Wiseman coming in there for the Warriors, everyone kind of thought the Warriors were just going to bounce back in and be that team again. But because Clay is now going to be out for the season, we see a more level playing field, especially in that Western Conference. Do you think the super teams era is ending because now we're seeing so many great players kind of spread out amongst different teams and leveling the playing field a lot?
That's a great question. I think that we won't really see as many of those super teams or as strong as those super teams as we've seen in the past. I felt like the past 3, 4, 5 years when this was a new thing, those teams were forming just really strong, and it's like you had 3, 4 superstars on one team. So I think hopefully it'll level the playing field a little bit. Last year was very interesting seeing a team like Miami get all the way there. I think that gave the whole league faith, and coming to the Kings, a young team, I'm willing to do that with them and see how far we can get in this thing.
Now, with the Kings, you guys actually have one of the most interesting setups going into training camp because I usually feel like I'm personally a Clippers fan, sorry, but I usually feel like with my team going into training camp, you have a pretty good idea who is either going to be the majority of the starting 5. But you guys, I don't really see that with the Kings. I see a lot of battles happening for those starting positions. How is that energy going to be going into camp with this competition, but also opportunity? Because there's a lot of guys that maybe didn't know if they could start, but everyone I feel like has a chance to start in this situation.
Definitely, and I think that it makes it fun. It makes it very competitive, and I'm one of the oldest guys on the team now, being almost 27, and it makes me feel really old. And I'm still young, but we do have a very young team, a very fast team, and I think that this team it'll be great in training camp to just compete and just see who'll come out on top of those 5 spots.
That was my next question. I was like, you are only 26, about to be 27, but you really are considered a vet on that team. Are you ready for that challenge or that leadership role that you kind of have to take on?
I am going into year 7 for me. I feel like I've seen a lot. I played behind, I've started, the superstars like Paul George, I got a chance to learn behind, and then many different players, Blake Griffin. So I'm excited to come to this team, young team, and just teach them things that I've learned. And it's important that you have great vets. We don't see that all the time anymore. I was with guys like Kendrick Perkins or Al Jefferson and guys who really encouraged me when I was first coming into the league. And that's what I look forward to doing.
Big Al Jefferson, huh?
Big Al, that's my guy.
So the draft, actually, speaking of the young guys, the draft was just a few weeks ago. We're used to seeing the draft happen in June, and then you guys have, starting training camp and stuff in September, and then preseason in October. But the draft was just a few weeks ago, and now these young guys are kind of just getting thrown into this situation. you were actually drafted with the 40th overall pick in the second round. And, which technically you're not a lottery pick. You're not this. You kind of have to grind your way up, which I usually love seeing happen with guys. You see all these like players like Malcolm Brogdon's of the world that ends up being rookie of the year and had so much, going against him in that situation. So do you, what words would you have for these young guys, especially because they're going into their rookie season with COVID, with like very little time to prep and get ready for the upcoming season? And then they also had to wait after they last stopped playing. Draft was supposed to be in June, kept getting pushed back, and just all the stuff that they've had to go through. What words of advice would you have for them going into this season?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things stepping foot into this league is patience. When I first came into the league, like you said, being 40th pick, I had to wait my turn. I dressed in a suit almost every game my rookie year. And everything in 2020 has been about patience, perseverance, and we'll get through it. And I that's the advice that I do have is stay the course and be patient, and your time will come. And for some of these young guys, their time will come quick. So they'll have to adjust fast, and that's why they came to the league, though. A lot of people have faith in them, and they're one of 60 that got drafted. So much love, and it'll be fun.
Okay, this is going to be the most important question I ask you, okay? So listen very closely. So in 2017, you were the slam dunk champ. So yes, congrats on that. But I am a huge Aaron Gordon should have won in a lot of situations. He competed with me that year. That is the only year that I don't think Aaron Gordon, I think you deserved that. You won that one. But the other two are super controversial to me, especially this last year. He had 50s in every single round until that extra one where, people thought D-Wade kind of cheated, all this kind of thing. What are your thoughts with the dunks you've seen and competing against Aaron Gordon, him being a guy that's done 3 slam dunk contests, not winning any, and said now he's never going to compete in that anymore? Do you feel like he should have a little more patience and try it again? Do you think he should have won one of these? I need to know, because this is my forever debate.
I think you're right. I think the one in 2017, I clearly won it, and the other ones we can leave them up for debate. But he's a great dunker. It's a funny story. Going into that dunk contest that I did win, I was super serious. I was in the back stretching, like getting ready. The rest of the guys were like kind of laughing, joking. Aaron was just kind of sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna win this thing," So I was serious, and I went in there to really compete. But he's a great dunker. I would love to see him do it one more time. I think that he does deserve one, and we'll see. So hopefully he changes his mind. I can convince him a little bit.
I'm saying though, I need him to win one. Like that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And you, as being a slam dunk champ, you're saying he's a great dunker and you want to see it again. So let's run this back one more time.
Hey, I was nervous about him. I was nervous about him in mine. So I think he should do it one more time. If he do it, who knows? Maybe I'll do it one more time too.
The worst in yours. Yours, he probably 2017. He probably did the worst. I think he was knocked out in the first or second round. Correct?
He just missed them. He missed them, and he had a drone, and he flew it all the way up, and it dropped the basketball. They were tough dunks. So that was my plan, is to do the simple things and to win and try to outsmart the competition.
Yeah. You did a great job, so congrats on that. Slam dunk contest is always my favorite thing, and most people's favorite thing to watch All-Star Weekend. So definitely entertaining always. Are you going to do another one? Do you have one that you want to do again, or are you a one and done?
I was drafted with Zach LaVine, so if Zach does another one, Aaron does another one, I'll put my name in it again. So I never did another one after I won it, but I'll put my name again if some of my friends join.
Well, and Zach didn't do another one after he won either, right?
Nope.
Okay, I see.
Zach
how y'all
won
are
two.
trying to
Zach
do
won
here.
2, then he stopped. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Fumble. We appreciate it. Good luck at your first training camp with the Sacramento Kings. I know you guys are going to do awesome this season. Really excited and looking forward to seeing this young team. And I think, honestly, the short start's going to help you guys a lot, just because you guys are young and you're ready to grit and grind. And some of these old cats probably won't be able to hang as much early on in the season, at least. So best of luck to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Fumble.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.